Here we are, early in the morning, July 1st, at Gettysburg. In the grounds of Penn College, we can see the 3 Union brigades of Buford's cavalry division looking westward, waiting for Lee's approaching army. Gamble's men move forward to investigate, and they spot Heath's division advancing up the Chambersburg Pike. Now, when you're playing this, you might say, hey, you know what, I can move these guys up around here, move these guys up around here. But historically, they didn't know what was coming up that road. They hear help was coming, but they don't know. They had heard Reynolds was coming, but they didn't even really know when he'd get there. As the sun rises fully on towards mid-morning, this is the situation on the map. Okay, here we are, mid-morning at Gettysburg. Drawn first are the cavalry. Now, Command Post Games places Pleasanton's cube on the board, and even though Pleasanton wasn't there, it's there because the cavalry needs to be able to operate. Now, historically, they were up there, way out front of the unit, of the rest of the army, and they didn't really know what was going on. They said, oh, there's Lee's army is moving up this way. And they weren't sure whether they were going to hold on or not because they didn't know if anyone else was coming up. So they don't really do anything critical until Reynolds shows up. And he'll be up at Gettysburg this turn. I mention all that because I'm not going to do anything goofy or creative with Buford's cavalry. At this point, they're primarily a reactionary force. But we'll place Merritt along the Hagerstown Road, and Devon will move out to the right. Next drawn is Reynolds' First Corps. And then A.P. Hill's chit is drawn. And now we're at mid-morning combat. Gamble's cavalry, having held up Heath's advance, falls back. Now we have late morning. I had originally kept Doubleday's entire division held off to come up the Hagerstown Road, but only Stannard's brigade should be back here. The rest of his division is here with the rest of the First Corps. Now this is turn 3, late morning, and you'll notice the northern forces actually outnumber the southern forces. First thing that happens is Howard's 11th Corps makes his appearance with Barlow and Skirt's division. Steinwehr's division will come on next turn. Next, A.P. Hill moves out, and the cavalry falls back, and Reynolds sets his corps to defend Gettysburg. Now it's turn 4, midday. Howard appears and forms up south of Gettysburg. And Pender joins Heath's division west of Gettysburg. Now the cavalry are drawn. Now you might be tempted to go shooting up here and contacting the bags, but there's no way that this unit would know that these are the bags back here. And they do know there's a huge force here, and they can see the dust clouds from the oncoming columns. They're going to be more focused on protecting their little patooties, or in military terms, covering the flank. Reynolds adjusts his line, covering the Carlisle Road with the Iron Brigade. And now Ewell's 2nd Corps begins coming on. Now we enter the combat phase. Now there has been an exchange of fire all morning long, but since no one was holding the line anywhere, it didn't result in serious loss. That's about to change. A.P. Hill's men push back the Union Brigade. Also on turn 4, Lee arrives. Lee and Hill have a conference on the Chambersburg Pike. First up is 3rd Corps. Pender's division supports the artillery as they prepare to rank the Union line. A.P. Hill's 3rd Corps hits Reynolds' 1st Corps. Gamble's cavalry rallies to refresh. Ewell's 2nd Corps drives on the Union line. And suddenly, in the space of a couple hours, the northern forces are severely outnumbered. Reynolds' Corps is drawn. He has Robinson's brigade reinforce Doubleday's brigade. Because the Chitral was advantageous to him, Howard attacks. Now in the mid-afternoon, there's plenty of combat. After the first large drive of the day, the Union lines have held, although they were the first side to lose a block. Raleigh's Green Brigade of Doubleday's division. But Heath and Pender's brigades were thrown back, and although the whole line could really use some rallying, is it too soon to unpack bags? Turn 6, it's dinner time. No new reinforcements appear. Now as a Union player overlooks what's happened here on the map, he's very strong here. And if he did well in this battle, he was thinking of unpacking bags and holding here. But having lost so definitely over here on the Confederate left, he's not sure this is a good place to make the line. Howard says, "Fie," and attacks. Lee and A.P. Hill leap into action. and the artillery opens up. And Reynolds pushes back on 2nd Corps. And Standard's Brigade works its way around to join its corps in Gettysburg. Ewell's Corps presses forward. Now, one thing to note here with these detachments you see racing around, playing a two-person game, you wouldn't know what those were. You'd see mysterious force come around on your right. When playing double blind, I also play as if the Union player had no idea what was going on, what was coming around. And in this recognition, it's imperative for the cavalry, who's drawn now, to maintain a viable force. Now note here, Davis's brigade has no clear route. The South gets to choose the order of combat. They'll choose this battle first. Assuming they'll throw that out of there, Davis will have a retreat route if necessary. Quod erat demonstratum. Now Davis can escape. No one is left in control. And now, after all combat, the line is a shambles. Alright, now here we have early evening, turn 7. This turn, the rest of Ewell's and A.P. Hill's Corps will come on the board. On the Union side, the forward elements of Slocum's 12th Corps and Sickles' 3rd Corps will arrive. Howard orders his corps to defend Seminary Ridge all the way to Gettysburg. And what is A.P. Hill's response? He's holding McPherson Ridge. And he unpacks bags, the 1st Corps to do so. And Anderson's division arrives, and it moves forward. And the rest of Ewell's Corps arrives, and it must stay 1/3 away. And here you can see they're racing to wrap and cut off the Federal troops. Now the cavalry is drawn and does cavalry things. It falls back behind Renner's Hill. Now Reynolds begins falling back to Cemetery Hill, but he has Iron Brigade deliver one last punch. Now we zoom out and you can see the 2 Union Corps coming to save the day, if they can. There is one combat. Rhodes' division has pressed forward, but the Iron Brigade will not give up ground easily. Or will they? Rhodes' division throws the Federals back. Turn 8, late evening, or as I often call it, the final effort. Now Sickles has been told to occupy Cemetery Ridge. Now a unit that shows up in the brigade, OB, is Berdan's sharpshooters. Now they're just a detachment, but they're elite. So like they're a detachment on steroids. It just lasts a lot longer. Now I've positioned them like this because I wanted to get everyone off the road. If they are still lined up along the road, this is Humphrey's division, then in the nighttime when things want to be coming in quickly up the road, if I draw Humphreys afterwards, they're all going to be blocked up. So he's off the road, so any reinforcements racing forward can get all the way up there. Here we are at the end of turn 8. Now when I fight Gettysburg, I have A.P. Hill's 3rd Corps move down here, Ewell's 2nd Corps move over here, and Longstreet's 3rd Corps come up the center. That's what you're going to see happen on the 2nd day Gettysburg. We have one epic combat. Wade's division with the Iron Brigade is being flanked by Rhodes and Early's divisions. The flanking effort was too much and they fall back beyond the bags. Now in the evening, you can't move within or end within an enemy field fire. So if you're drawn first, you have to fall back from the enemy line. Who will be drawn first in this realm? A lot can go on in the middle of the night. It's the end of day 1 and both sides have decided to stay. Stay tuned for my next video. We'll see how this plays out. Thank you. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.